Welcome back, guys. My name is Wildcard. Thank you for following my crappy content. If you want to buy me a coffee, hit the join button down below. Otherwise, like and subscribe. I really do appreciate it. Let's have a look at this weekend's final game, Ireland versus Argentina. This is the final game of the Autumn Internationals and final game for both teams, and has been a little bit of changes for both teams coming into this match. Ireland obviously following that famous win last week against the All Blacks. A couple of injuries in some critical roles for Ireland. The number 9 Gibson Parks was injured, and also Johnny Sexton suffered a little bit of injury at the number 10 position as well. So a little bit of change there for Ireland. And the Irish backline has a bit of a shuffling up as well. Andy Farrell similarly giving a few new guys some opportunities to come off to finish off the season with a few newer guys with a bit more international rugby experience, while Argentina seems to also do the same thing here as well, with a couple new guys in the front rows and the backline reserves as well. So overall, Argentina has had a pretty tough year, and unlike Ireland, the Argentinians really probably wanted to close out this season under much more pressure to try to close this season on a big win. They had one win last week against, I think it was against Georgia. And, the overall sentiment of the team is that they had a pretty tough season this year, traveling for a very long time away from home. And so the history between Ireland and Argentina, only ever played 18 times between the two sides. And it's been 50-50 kind of for a while, and then in recent years Ireland has really strengthened its side and pulled ahead of Argentina, winning pretty much the last 8 last 7 out of the 8 meetings. So yeah, quite dominance starting to show with Ireland. Quite a big task for Argentina to try to amend that record. So going into this match, Ireland obviously with their famous win against New Zealand, this was the best game I have ever seen Ireland ever played. Just absolutely dominant over New Zealand in pretty much every aspect of the game. The tight 5 was outpacing the New Zealand tight 5, and the backline was smooth, handling was excellent, and just defense was also excellent for Ireland, beating an extremely strong New Zealand team with excellent defense. And maybe the pressure from the Ireland was able to force some very uncharacteristic handling errors out of the New Zealand team to really score, really end up allowing Ireland to squeeze out a win. I think this one should be said. And also Ireland in the Autumn National Series, the other game was against Japan. Very dominant performance against the Japanese team that almost beat the Wallabies a couple weeks beforehand. So very impressive. And Ireland also in July internationals played against USA and Japan with some of the core players in the autumn in the Lions tour. So Ireland has been, I think, very well this year, especially in the Six Nations as well. Despite having a bit of a rough time in the Six Nations with Johnny Sexton being injured in the first 2 matches, the Irish really had the opportunity to win the game win the Six Nations. In fact, if Johnny Sexton had a little bit better luck with his injuries, whilst the Argentinians this year had a pretty tough season. They beat Italy last week. Did I say Georgia? Italy, yeah. So they had a pretty tough season last week. This is the biggest win they've had all year. They had a pretty tough game against France. They really showed a lot of promise against France. It was pretty close, and they almost had an opportunity to potentially snatch the game in the end of the last 10 minutes of the game or so. They definitely have improved a lot in the Autumn Nation Series than they performed in the Rugby Championship, where they lost every match and they really didn't look like they had an opportunity to really stage a win at any point of this Rugby Championship. Really unfortunate for me to say that, but the Autumn International Series has been much better for Argentina. especially against France. That game, they were truly well in the game all the way till the dying minutes. They had a try denied. Otherwise, they would have probably upset the French team if that try was not denied. Whether in Dublin on Saturday, it's gonna be this game's gonna be played on Sunday, so it's gonna be maybe a bit wet from the rain on Saturday. So hopefully the conditions are not gonna be too bad. And let's have a look at the teams, the exact lineup. So the Ireland team has made no changes in the starting four pack against the Argentinians. So Andrew Porter comes in at number 1, Ronan Keller come in number 2, and Ty Furlong, probably the best tight head in the world at the moment. Extremely good running game, extremely good scrummaging. Really can't ask anything from him. He pretty much scored a try against the All Blacks and then got denied because of his teammates' mistakes prior to him scoring. So yeah, that was a little bit unlucky, but he was absolutely spectacular. Thomas Gallows coming in at number 1. He was actually just basically a reserve, injury reserve. He wasn't actually gonna get a run at all. And then the game against Australia in the second, I think it was the first test, maybe a second test. I think it was the second test against Australia, where some of the Argentinian guys breached the COVID bubble. So he was given an opportunity to play and came off the bench. And he came off the bench basically just really showed a lot of promise, scoring a try against the Wallabies in a game where Argentina was truly down and out and didn't really look like they had any opportunities of beating or scoring at all against Wallabies. So his impressive performance from that has earned him starting spots in the Argentina team in the loose air forward, in the loose air proposition. And this is the third game in a row now. I think this is the third game or fourth game. I think this is the fourth game in a row he's getting to start at the loose air position for Argentina. Since that, the replacement opportunity that he had due to some COVID breaches. So yeah, you snooze, you lose. And, if you break the rules, you lose a spot and suddenly it's gone. It's gone forever. So really good and impressive to see this young guy getting another opportunity number 1. Julian Montoya, the captain, comes in at number 2. Really solid performer for Argentinians. He is excellent, a line-out performer, and quite good in scrummaging as well. Francisco Gomez Cordella comes in at number 3 in the tight head position for Argentina. He has also been a very solid performer for the Argentinians. The Argentina tight scrum is, I would say, much better than most people give them credit for. Their head coach used to play front rows, and he used to be a specialized scrum coach for, I think, the Wallabies at one point. So he's definitely knows his scrummaging, and Argentinians are quite underrated scrummaging, and it'll be interesting to see how Ty Furlong is going to fare up against this Argentinian scrum. May not be as bad as you might think going into this match. In the locking position, Ian Henderson comes in at number 4. James Ryan had a really, really good game against the All Blacks, comes in at number 5. Guido Petty comes in at number 4 for the Argentinians, and Thomas Lavanini comes in at number 5. 2 quite veteran locking combo for the Argentinians. Again, working with Julian Montoya, extremely good lineouts from the Argentinian side. In the loose forward positions, we have Kalen Doris comes in number 6. Josh Van der Filia comes in number 7. And Jack Conan comes in at number 8 for the Irish pack. This is going to be probably something the Irish team has a little bit of advantage over the Argentinian side. The Ireland loose forwards was absolutely excellent against the All Blacks. Really, really mobile around the park. Something that really kind of obvious on the field. Kalen Doris scoring a try? I think he did score a try against the All Blacks with his really good running support game. So the mobility could be an issue that the Argentinians wanted to catch up. Santiago Grondona comes in from Argentina, number 6. Marcos Crema comes in number 7, and Pablo Matera comes in number 8. The back row for the Argentinians is I think a little bit on the slow side. Marcos Crema potentially could be a lock. I think he played lock before, so he's more like a lock a jump, then like an open side flanker. And he also has a bit of a temper issues. The French team tried to exploit him, got him yellow carded actually. So like it's just he has that issue of temper issues. Santiago Gondona comes in 6. He's quite a newer guy for 6th position. I'm actually surprised to see him here. Pablo Matera at number 8. Sometimes he plays the 6 as well instead. So Matera, again, there's been a lot of shuffling for the loose 4 positions. Matera is probably the best guy in their backline and most threatening guy at the breakdowns. But then again, I feel like maybe the speed out of all of these guys could be an issue against the Irish pack, the mobility of the Irish pack. Conor Murray comes in number 9 due to the injured what's his name, Gibson Park, and Johnny Sexton also has a bit of injury, so Joey Carberry comes in at number 10. This was suspect to be the combination that's going to go into this game anyway, regardless of injury, because Conor Murray and Joe Carberry were the reserve duo for Ireland anyway, and for this game, it was pretty likely that they're going to put them at a starting spot. Just give them a bit more exposure, a bit more experience. For the Argentinians, the big return that made a lot of difference to the Argentinian side is Thomas Kubeli. He was injured in the Rugby Championship, and basically it really looked like Argentina lacked that little bit of a spark. And with Kubeli back in the 10, in the 9th position, there's a lot of energy from the Argentinian side, and Kubeli is able to exploit a lot of opportunities for Argentina that was pretty much non-existent before. So one of the things that Kubeli brings to Argentina is like a sense of chaos. So he's really good at creating chaos and being able to find opportunity amongst the chaotic situation that's in. And Argentina kind of plays into that a little bit as well. So he's kind of like a really important part of the team to bring that chaotic play style in the team, and the team actually thrives on that as well. So like the game against the French, Argentina almost won the game, like I said, in the end, due to some chaotic plays from the on the field, and basically catching the French off guard, scoring two really quick tries. One of them was denied because of a tiny bit of an error from from the Argentinian side. But otherwise, Argentina could have potentially beaten the French team. So it was pretty tight. And that's something that Thomas Kubeli does really, really well for the Argentinian side. And Santiago Carreras, he's a very new guy at number 10. But he used to play number 15 so he's only started playing 10 for the last maybe 5 matches now. And he had like one run at number 10 last year where he first ever touched the ball at number 10 in international rugby. And it was pretty bad. And it was against the All Blacks last year. So his first time ever played 10 was against the All Blacks, and it was pretty bad. But this year he's been kind of like put back in the 10 as a result of Nicolas Sanchez being injured. And he has actually improved a lot since last year. And just having Thomas Kubeli back at 9 really gives him, it helps him out a lot in the decision making as well. Takes some of that decision making load off his shoulders with Thomas Kubeli's play style. So really good to see him play again, and to see how much more he can improve. Maybe close out the year with a big win. James Lowe at number 11, one of the best players out of the All Blacks game against his former country. He was absolutely spectacular. Scored a try, and just his running game and kicking game were just really, really spectacular. Luchino Cintiluna comes in at number 11 for Argentinas. He had to be on the bench quite a few games now, finally getting a starting spot at number 11. Robbie Henshaw, the veterans, comes back for Ireland at number 12. I think he had an injury, and he was not expecting to be back for this Autumn International Series, but he's actually back, so he's back in the inside center position. And Bandiaki is getting a break. Gary Winrow stays at number 13. Again, excellent game against the All Blacks. Was just huge in terms of carrying and getting over the advantage line. The new addition to the Irish backline is Robert Balukune, I think that's, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. He had one game with Ireland before, and according to Andy Farrell, he's just like extremely good, extremely fast, extremely agile. Pretty promising talent for our Irish side. Hugo Kinnan stays number 15 for the Irish team. I think, stays number 15. Another one of those really, really good players for the Ireland side. The inside center, Jeremy De La Fuente, stays at number 12 for the Argentinian side, and Matias Moroni at number 13. This combination was actually also missing for the Argentinians during the Rugby Championship, in Australia. So these two guys coming back also helped a lot for Argentina with their performance against France as well. Mateo Carreras comes in number 14. He's actually earning a starting spot. He was on the bench for quite a bit. He's quite a little speedster, and yeah, it's good to see him getting a starting spot here. And Emiliano Bofelli at number 15 spot for Argentina. The fullback has been absolutely brilliant for Argentina so far, and his kicking game, not just kicking, goal kicking, has been extremely good. He will be the guy that does the kicking for as long as for at least till Carrera gets substituted off in the second half. So in the bench we have Dean Sheehan comes in at number 16 for Ireland. Ken Healy comes in at number 17. Tom O'Toole comes in at number 18 for Ireland. Two newcomers plus one veteran, averaging still over 100 caps between three players. Facundo Bosch comes in number 16. Ignacio Calles comes in number 17, and Eduardo Bello comes in at number 18. So 17 and 18 for Argentina are both two quite new players, new additions to the team. I'm actually not too familiar with either of the players. Facundo Bosch has a pretty stellar season for Argentina, especially in that, he's been swapped around a bit in the starting position in the on the bench, quite a few games, just been shuffling back and forward. Ty Burns stays on the bench at number 19 spot. Lucas Paulos comes in at number 19 for Argentina, another newer guy to the team as well for Argentina. Peter Romani, the veteran, at number 20. Facundo Iza moves down to the bench from, I think he's a center? No, he's a forward, sorry. He plays loose forward, so he gets moved to the bench. Craig Casey at number 21, a debutant for Ireland. Gonzalez Bertrano comes in number 21, the reserve halfback. Harry Byrne comes in number 22, not Billy Burns, sadly. And Nicolas Sanchez at number 22, the veteran for Argentina, the hero. He had been a bit of injury and he's a little bit rusty this season, so I think they just want to having him on the bench to come off later on in the second half. And in fact, when he comes on the field, I think Carreras goes to 15, and then Sanchez will take over the kicking duty. I think that's most likely what's going to be happening. Keith Earls at number 23 for Ireland, and Facundo Cordero, another debutant for Argentina, at number 23. So that's the lineup, guys. Let me know what you think of this game. I think this is going to be a really tough game for Argentina, especially in the 4-pack, where the Irish has a big advantage in terms of speed and scrummaging. We shall see how Argentina fares against that. But let me know your thoughts. Let me know your prediction in the comments down below. Thank you for watching this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you a little bit later this week. Cheers.